Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. Shalom, Hotep, Assalamu Allah. Peace to the black gods, peace to the black goddesses. I'm your brother in the struggle for peace, truth, reality, freedom, justice, and equality. Brother Minister Alifullah. Beloved, this is part 2 of the Theology of Revelation, chapter 13. Today we're going to cover Elijah versus the false prophets. Fire from heaven, deception. We're going to get into how did the Antichrist and the false prophet that rose up in the nation of Islam spit such fire that came from the heaven of their mind. How did they spark the 85% mentally deads and look like they're 5% poor righteous teachers, but they're really 10% rich slave makers of the poor? How did they get those who stood up and worshiped the true and living God to bow down to an unseen mystery of law, to believe that nothing was something after having knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of themselves? Beloved, we're going to uncover one of the deepest and most prophetic connections in all the scriptures. The link between the false prophet in Revelation chapter 13 and the false prophets of Baal in the days of Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 18. The Bible records that the false prophet in the last days will, quote, make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men or people. Revelations chapter 13, verse 13 to 14. But this is not a new pattern. Over 1,000 years earlier, according to the 24 scientists writing our history in advance, they warned us that the false prophets of Baal claimed they could do the same thing in their challenge against the prophet Elijah. Elijah told them, quote, call ye on the name of your gods, and there was no voice, nor any that answered. 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 24 to 29. They danced, shouted, cut themselves, and tried to produce fire from heaven. But the scriptures teaches us there was neither voice nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 29. Malcolm X formed the Muslim Mosque Incorporated. They called the Adhan. They called to a mystery of law, a mystery God. They called just as the Antichrist, Imam Wairth Muhammad, he came in. Like Malcolm, he too rejected Master Fard Muhammad, the supreme law God in person. He too rejected the concept that the black man was God. And he went from a law in person to a law as a myth, as a spirit. He went from a law being somebody to a law being nobody. He rejected the teachings of the Lamb, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And in that rejection, Malcolm and Wallace, Imam Wairth Muhammad, they both thought that their God, who is a spook, who is a mystery, they thought that that God was greater than Almighty God of law, who appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. And as the false prophet and the Antichrist taught the masses became like unto them. Those that went with Malcolm, they too became thinkers like Malcolm. They too rejected Messenger Elijah Muhammad and blasphemed the very God that rose them from the mental death in the wicked wilderness of North America. They too began to take upon a mark on their head. They began to bow down and receive a prostration mark on their foreheads from praying to an unseen Allah after believing in Huwa Allahi, The Holy Quran teaches us Huwa, He. Huwa is the Arabic name for He. Huwa, He, Allah. He, the God. The Holy Quran closes out in the 114th surah or chapter, Al-Nisa, the people or the men or so-called mankind, with the people realizing God the people. Not God and the people. It's a lot of pseudo spooky stuff out there. See, you had a lot of false prophets while the message was on the roster. I recognize and respect Father Divine, Sweet Bishop Daddy Grace, Reverend Ike, but when you listen to them, they're not teaching you about the reality of God. They're teaching you that God is in you. It's a lie. They're teaching you that heaven is in you. No, the black man is God. God is not in the black man. God and Jesus is not in your heart. You, the people, are Jesus. You, the people, are Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah. You are our Khalik, the creator of all of creation. Your mind, like energy, is synonymous. Religions consider the power of your mind to be our Khalik, or the creator of all creation. Our Sunni, Shia, Ahmadiyya, Hanafi, Ansari, it's like over 70 different sects of Muslims out there. They all disagree with each other. They're reading the same hadiths and taking hadiths as though it's the Holy Quran. No. Understand the real Holy Quran, the real Holy Bible, the real Torah, Septuagint, Vulgate, the real Injil or Gospels. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us on February the 20th, 1934, that the Holy Quran or Bible is made by the original people, who is Allah, the supreme being or black man of Asia. In 2025, you don't hear that kind of teaching no more, because the people are being taught that the Holy Quran is some type of magical book, that the Bible is some type of magical book, that God is like the great Wizard of Oz, living and existing somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars, sitting on a throne of water called an arse, somewhere beyond the universe, and that when you physically die, you will see this mystery God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us there is no life after death. That's a belief. What do we know? We know that there is death after life. There is not life after death. There is death after life. That which lives must die. Surely the black man is God. There is no mystery God. So when these scriptures teach us, 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 36 to 38 reads, when Elijah called on the God of Israel, real fire came down from heaven and consumed the offering instantly. Think that over. Imagine living back in the day and you see all these fake prophets, 10%ers, rich slave makers of the poor, teaching the poor people lies. Got our people praying to nothing as though it's something. Here is the Antichrist and a false prophet in the Nation of Islam teaching the FOI and MGT that they know better than Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Pseudo-scientists. And here we are today, 90 years later. Our people are running around the ghettos in the wilderness of North America without a nation, still blind, deaf, and dumb, still absolutely confused, spooked out their minds. They just changed from Christianity to Muslimanity. They lost their knowledge of themselves. They're looking for nothing as though it's something. We live in a world of materialism, confusion, greed, envy, jealousy, self-hatred. The black man will kill a black man in a blink of an eye. All of this because we lost the discipline and obedience to the Supreme Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, and his first, last, and only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. What was and is the result? We wind up strung out on crack, fentanyl, welfare, poverty, dilapidated homes, broken homes, absolute depression, suicide, illiteracy, ignorance. We lost our moral compass. We became absolutely mentally dead after Messenger Elijah Muhammad mentally resurrected us out of the graves. We went right back to the club, right back to a super club, strip clubs, Henny, blunts, guns, ghosts in the sky, believing in spooks and spirits, totally, absolutely mentally dead, living in hell when we was promised by Malcolm and Wallace that they would take us to heaven. They took us straight back to hell, straight back to the devil, straight back to the white man. And here we are in 2025, a powerless people, a lost people, lost after being found, lost again, rejectors of the truth. We are attracted to spookism. We are attracted to mysticism. We want to be everybody and everything except ourselves. We'll dress up like we're in Saudi Arabia. We'll dress up like we're Hebrews and Canaan. We'll dress up like everything except who we are, a lost nation in the wilderness of North America, trying to do for self. Revelation uses this exact pattern to warn us. In the last days, spiritual imposters will arise with false signs, false authority, and false fire, deceiving the masses just as the prophets of Baal misled Israel. The modern day false prophets, your pastors, your reverends, your ministers, your imams, your gurus, your sheikhs, your mentors, they are teaching you about a mystery God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. There is no God besides God. It's difficult, I understand, for you to accept this fact. But while you wait upon that mystery God, while you wait upon the return of the Messiah, the return of the Mahdi, the return of the Christ, the return of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad is now here. All we need to do is dig deep into the infinite knowledge, wisdom, and understanding revealed by Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. There's nothing spooky in the scriptures. All of the scriptures are from human beings. Our ancestors wrote bits and pieces based on their experience, their observations in nature. There was never a mystery God in the history of humanity. No mystery God made human beings. Human beings made all of those mystery gods. Revelations chapter 13 teaches us about this dragon, stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads with 10 crowns on its horns. Let's look at this. Revelation 13 describes 2 beasts, one rising from the sea and one from the earth. The first beast from the sea has 7 heads and 10 horns and is empowered by the dragon. The beast speaks blasphemies and wages war against the saints, and its authority is enforced through a mark that prevents the buying and selling of goods without it. The number 666. The second beast from the earth has 2 horns like a lamb, but speaks like a dragon, and causes the world to worship the first beast and its image, the beast from the sea. The description is it's a monstrous beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, described as having the body of a leopard, the feet of a bear, and the mouth of a lion. Those of you who are astute in your studies know that in Daniel chapter 7, there's a link. We see such beasts mentioned by Daniel. For those of you that may not be aware of it, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in an article titled Awake, he explained to the Nation of Islam that Daniel in the scriptures historically was one of the 23 black scientists. So when you read the book of Daniel, you're reading the actual writings from one of our 24 scientists, one of the 23 of the 24. There is no mystery God. Daniel was a black man trying to give us symbolic language about the trials and tribulations that we would experience in this day and time. So, the description as stated was a monstrous beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, described as having the body of a leopard, the feet of a bear, and the mouth of a lion. The power and authority is given power and authority by the dragon or Satan, the system, the American government, COINTELPRO. Yes, COINTELPRO played a giant, huge role in making sure that the Nation of Islam was slowed down, divided, and destroyed. Blasphemy and war. It speaks great and blasphemous things against God and is given power to make war on the saints and to overcome them. How did Imam Wairth Muhammad and Malik El-Shabazz, or former minister Malcolm X, make that transition where they believed as the messenger believed, but at some point in their life they disbelieved as the messenger believed? And then they waged war against the messenger's teachings. And they tried to pull the saints or the angels of heaven, and they pulled a third of the angels of heaven down to hell with them. We seen this happen in real time, right here on the face of the planet. This was not talking about something in the sky, something in the constellation of Orion or the Anunnaki or something mystical or spooky. It happened in real life, in real time, right here in the wilderness of North America. The same men that stood on the microphone and praised Master Fard Muhammad and praised Messenger Elijah Muhammad began to speak blasphemous things on the microphone, in the public, in private, against Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The same men that taught that the black man was God went to the east and got with the Arabs, the same pale Arabs that enslaved Africans for over 1,300 years. Saudi Arabia practiced slavery, suffering, and death upon black men and women and children. They bowed down to the same mystery God that they felt proud running over there, praying to nothing as though it was something. Instead of running around the hood, they wanted to run around a black rock in Saudi Arabia and bow down to the Orthodox Muslims. When Master Fard Muhammad came from that, knew about that, rejected that spooky stuff, and taught us the reality of God. He taught us about Ru Allahi. He the God. Say he Allah's one. There is no Ru Allahi, spook God. Ru, spirit, spook, unseen. That's not what the Quran teaches us. The Quran teaches us about Huwa, he, the God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1965 published Message to the Black Man in America. And he asked the question, who is that mystery God? God sees, hears, walks. We refer to him as he and him and Father and King. He destroyed the very concept of that mystery God for the 5%, the poor righteous teachers. We finally woke up. We finally broke free of the mental shackles of that mystery God. We began to answer our own prayers. And what did Malcolm and Wallace do? They took us right back to a mystery God. We went right back to waiting on cloud number 9, the blackness of space, our vain imaginations to do for us what we were obligated to do for ourselves. The second beast with 2 horns that are like a lamb's, but it speaks like a dragon. His role was it exercises all the authority of the first beast on its behalf and causes the earth and its inhabitants to worship the first beast. Did not Wallace D. Muhammad, Imam Wairth D. Muhammad, come right into the headquarters of the Nation of Islam, Muhammad's temple number 2, mosque number 2, and rename it after the first beast, Masjid Malik el-Shabazz, after Malcolm X, the chief opponent of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the one the messenger considered the angel that fell from heaven? Did not Messenger Elijah Muhammad suspend Imam Wairth D. Muhammad several times because he opposed the truth? And yet, they let Wallace come to save his day in 1975, and they not only rubber stamped him, they politically backed him, financially supported him, and spiritually picked him up and lifted him up as the champion of the Nation of Islam instead of being a villain of the Nation of Islam. And what did he do? As soon as he got his hands on the real power, he immediately dismantled the reality of Allah. He immediately taught you not to believe that Allah came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. He immediately rejected his father as the messenger of Allah. He immediately let the devils in the Nation of Islam. He immediately told you to throw away your lessons and put down his father's books because he was going to teach you real Islam, pure Islam. The same spooky, politically, economically, oil-linked nonsense that has control over the whole planet in 2025, and the people that believe it don't receive heaven on earth. They still suffer slavery, suffering, death, oppression, political tyranny. And what happens? Saudi Arabia and all these Muslim countries with all these Qurans and all this oil money, they not feeding, clothing, and shelter. They not uniting no Muslims. They not coming over here in the wilderness of North America liberating no black people. They knew we was here. They didn't get on no boats or anything to try to teach our people. They practiced Jim Crow segregation just like everybody else. Yeah, they came over here in the wilderness of North America and built beautiful masjids. But ain't no black folks was allowed. They sided with the Christians. They sided with the devils. They went with the white folks. They was like, we ain't going in the hood helping them black folks. They considered us the N-word. They wouldn't use you say Assalamu alaikum. They not going to say wa alaikum. They look at you like you crazy. Talk about you that brother and you that said Aki. They like, yeah, all right. You believe this organized religion if you want. Real Islam was real. Real Islam was about the liberation of the oppressed. Real Islam was practiced by the real Muslims, the true Arabs. Arab means Lord, black lords. The real Muslims believed in one creator of all creation. They were absolutely correct. We always believed in one creator. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has the Shahada in Message to the Black Man in America in 1965. In 1957, before Malcolm fell out, before Wallace came with the Quran, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us about wudu and Tayammun and Gushan and Stijah and how to make Salat and Fajr and Thor, Ars, Maghrib and Isha. He taught us all of that in his Muslim Delhi prayer book in the year 1957. He taught us about the Holy Quran in the 1930s. It's like we been knew that. It's like we just got a deeper understanding of Islam. Way deeper. We was way past some corny, mediocre, elementary understanding of Islam. The messenger took us past Alimi, the knowledge. He opened up with the Hakimi, the Department of Supreme Wisdom. He gave us the Alifi, the understanding. He taught us al-Haq, the reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't listen to these false prophets and disciples, the ones that the messenger made angels. Malcolm and Wallace turned them into demons, teaching you this tricknology, a mixture of truth with real knowledge. They want you to believe that Malcolm went to Mecca and saw white Muslims and woke up to true Islam. It's nonsense. It's a lie. Before Malcolm ever thought of Islam, Master Fard Muhammad taught us that his mother was a white Muslim. The very founder of the Nation of Islam have a white Jewish mother and a black Arab father. We're fully aware of that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote a whole chapter called A Few White People Are Muslims by Faith, Not by Nature. We always believed in white Muslims of faith. We've been taught that. We're taught that in the history of Yaqub, and that's elementary stuff to the true and living gods. But y'all want to think that Wallace came in and brought the Quran and the Sunnah. It's like, that's not the Sunnah. You know what I'm saying? History is not a science. You can't take hadiths or sayings and make that superior than the Holy Quran. This is what many people are doing in 2025, trying to teach the messenger's message in this age of mess and the way of tricknology. Let us wake up. The old prophet Elijah, he challenged those mystery God teachers, the 10%, the rich slave makers of the poor. He challenged them to have that God burn the altar, spark that altar. And they got to praying and calling upon that mystery God. And, Elijah mocked them and said, maybe your God is asleep right now. Scream louder. And they start screaming, oh, bow, bring the fire down from heaven. And of course, nothing happened. You know what I mean? It's like waiting on that mystery God. You know what I mean? Our lessons teach us what? Will you sit up at home and wait for that mystery God to bring you food? Answer emphatically no. We have to wake up and do for ourselves today. The message taught us do for self. Ain't no mystery God going to come do nothing for you. Ain't no magical God. Our people have what they call the Messiah complex. They waiting on Moses to come do it. They waiting on Elijah to come back and do it. They waiting on Masfar Muhammad to come do it. They think some angels going to come fly from the east and come over here and fight their battles and give them peace of mind and contentment, money, good homes, and friendships and all walks of life. They like, give me like little birds inside of a nest. Until that mother bird come and knock them out that nest. You either going to take flight or, it's Assalamu alaikum or Assalamu Allah. We're out of here. Peace, peace. But no, Malcolm and Wallace wanted to mimic Messenger Elijah Muhammad. They wanted to bring fire from heaven, but it was a fake fire. It was a fake spark. It was a fake teaching. It tickled your ears. They knew how to appeal to your emotions. See, that's what evangelists do. Evangelists move the people with rosy words and fancy speeches and loud ramblings and like thunders. You know what I mean? But the messenger said, I'm not here to preach. I'm here to teach. He said, I just want to teach you the science. I want to teach you the science of Islam. I want to teach you the science of life. I want to teach you the science of death. I want to teach you the science of how to eat to live. I want to teach you the science of economics. I want to teach you the science of politics. I want to teach you the science of the universe in which you live. And his words and his works spoke for itself. But what did Malcolm and Wallace do? They spread gossip, rumor, innuendo, backbiting. The very man that pulled them up out of the mud like crabs in a barrel, they threw a tablecloth on his back and took out a knife and fork and began to eat the messenger's back out. The messenger said, Malcolm threw mud in my eyes. He said, when he threw the mud in my eyes, a lot of people looked at me and was like, oh, let's see. Is he going to wipe the mud out his eyes? He said he didn't say nothing. He ain't wiped the mud out his eyes because he was wondering, where's the true believers? Why y'all ain't take the mud out my eyes? You see? He said, if a man came to me and said, that man ain't no carpenter, and I'm standing in the house that man built, I'll look at you like Messi said, I take a hammer and hit you upside your head. Talking about that man ain't no carpenter, and we're in the house that he built off of his bonded word. His word is bond and bond is life. He resurrected us from slavery, suffering, and death, took us out of the cesspool of America's hells and ghettos and broken families, and stood us up as strong men and women, and redeemed us and mentally resurrected us, and we walked proudly and showed and proved to all of the world that fruit is best, that the MGT is best, that there are all types of fruits and flowers, some sweet, some sour, some was bitter, some wasn't ripe yet, some was rotten to the core. But there's all types of roses. Some got thorns, some don't. Some flowers smell like this, some flowers sell a little sweet, some sell sour, some are bitter. Some Venus flytraps, you know, the fly land on some of them plants, hey, they get destroyed. We had all types of strong sisters. We had sisters in college, sisters from the hood, sisters in the underground, sisters in the above ground, sisters in the corporate world, sisters in the hospitals, sisters in politics, brothers everywhere. We was making things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. But the false prophet and the Antichrist took all of that away and had our people looking towards the east again. Muhammad Ali want to go over there and kiss a black rock. The messenger said he went over there and he said I had to smile because I knew that black rock was a symbol of myself. He told us that Kaaba is nothing but a symbol of the nation of Islam, the black man and woman here in the wilderness of North America. He explained the reality over the rituals and the languages and symbols, and he gave us the substance. But we went with the world community of Islam. We now got true Islam. All of the strength went right out the body. Strong brothers and sisters became weak brothers and sisters. Focused brothers and sisters became lost brothers and sisters. The love, light, and loyalty of Messenger Elijah Muhammad was spit upon in 1965 and then again in 1975. The Muslim Mosque Incorporated turned 5% gods into 85% Orthodox Muslims. Black identity back into a pale Arab identity. Then came 10 years later, Imam Wairth Muhammad's World Community of Islam. Again, turned the 5% true and living gods into an invisible, powerless, spooky, Orthodox Muslim mystery God nation of people. FOI and MGT that once stood before the true and living God now bow before yet another mystery God. 85% mentally dead will believe what the white man says and argue, rebel, and reject what the black man says. Satan's endgame. Malcolm tried to make his own counterfeit Nation of Islam. That didn't work. COINTELPRO backed Imam Wairth Muhammad, Wallace Delancey Muhammad. And he too thought that with the backing of the dragon, he could drag you off of the mount of prosperity and truth and bring you down into the mud of civilization again by having you join yet another fake, phony nation of Islam. That was Satan's endgame, a counterfeit nation of Islam. Yet another fake heaven. No, the 10% did not give you the bag. They did not give you peace of mind and contentment, money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. No, the 10% simply made the FOI and MGT back into 85% mentally dead slaves who worship that which they knew not what. And the 85% following the 10%, the blind following the blind, they both fell into the ditch. And this 95% masses slandered, attacked, and rejected and ignored out of envy and jealousy the 5%, the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachers of the 10%, the very angels of Master Fard Muhammad. They want to worship that which they know not what. So we say, as the Holy Quran teaches us, say, O disbelievers, we worship not that spooky mystery stuff that you worship, nor do you worship Hua, he, the God, Hua, Allahi, whom we worship. To you be your way, to we be ours. Our universe is comprised of the 5%, the 85%, and the 10%. The 5% is like unto the poor righteous teachers known as the protons, the positive force. There's ciphers in the ciphers in the ciphers of atoms that are positive. They can coexist and live with the 85%, the masses, the mentally dead, the neutrons, the neutral ones that are neither this nor that. They're not really positive and they're really not negative. But outside that cipher is the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor lies. Anytime the 10% integrates with the 5%, that electron that's outside the cipher of that atom, when that electron comes in and tries to integrate with the 5%, war is made. The 5% annihilates the 10%. Matter turns back into antimatter. Got to start all over. This is spiritually what is taking place in 2025. We're in the position and in the condition as though Allah and his messenger never even came. We're right back to square one. We ain't on the cipher of independence. We're not talking about getting out of America. We're not talking about getting land and building our own homes, schools, hospitals, and factories. We're not talking about growing what we eat, sewing what we wear, building where we dwell, defending what we got. Look at us, a divided nation, not a united nation, not a universal nation, a nation struggling like an old rusty church on a corner. As soon as the minister passes, we pass. As soon as the leader dies, we die. After all those years, 44 years of hard work, 1975, February 26, MGT's all in the rafters, beautiful, shining, dressed in white. All praises due to Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All praises due to Allah for the brothers, glowing, shining, strong, disciplined, running the streets, getting money, got the bag, nation building, making it happen. They know the black man is God. They got on FOI uniforms with the initials of Masfar Muhammad on it. WFM. 24 hours later. Oh, we don't believe that stuff no more. Brothers grew beards. Brothers put on kufis. What the hell happened in hell? What the hell happened was they transformed heaven back into hell. The same hell that Master Muhammad's messenger took us out of, they ran right back into it. And anybody that had the audacity to try to bring back what they call the old teachings, the first resurrection, all that, them brothers opposed any FY and MGT that dared try to bring back the messenger's message in this age of mess. We suffered slings and arrows, hell, betrayal, the dragon, Satan, joint with the 10%, the false prophet, and the Antichrist. Their followers would take and smother anyone trying to resurrect the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This mystery Babylon. Revelation chapter 17, verse 3 is basically a reprint of the prophecies of Revelation chapter 13, a beast, 7 heads and 10 horns. Mystery Babylon, baby London. That's all America is a little Europe. We're modern day Iraq, a modern day Nineveh, a modern day Egypt, a modern day Rome, a modern day Greece. The messenger teaches us time repeats these things over again and again and again. Are you not yet sick and tired of being sick and tired? Will you humble yourself and submit your individual will to the collective will of the Supreme Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever? Will you stop lifting disciples over the messengers of God? Will you stop disputing and arguing whether you follow Aaron or Joshua when we're supposed to be following the teachings and the 10 commandments of Musa or Moses? Will you stop arguing if you're with Peter or Paul when we're supposed to be following the teachings of Jesus? Will you stop arguing whether you're Sunni or Shia or Ahmadiyya, or if you're with Hussein or Hassan or Umar or Abu Bakr, when we're supposed to be following the teachings of the Khatim, that be, or the seal of the prophets, Muhammad? Sir, Allahu alayhi wasalam, or thoughts of peace be unto the last prophet, the seal of the prophets. That which the prophets taught is true. The problem is our spooky interpretation of the Torah. The Torah is 100% true. It's 100% true that black people are the real Israelites, the real Hebrews. It's our spooky interpretation of the Torah. It's true that black people are the real Christians. The Messenger said in 1972 in the Theology of Time, he said, Elijah, is the Bible a lie? He said, no. It's true if you understand it. He said a good Christian is a Muslim and a good Muslim is a Christian. Christian only means to be Christianized into one. That's a Muslim. We teach the same thing, just in a different way. We believe in one creator of all creation. We bear witness that Prophet Muhammad is the seal of the prophets. We believe in 100% of the Holy Quran. We just don't believe in some rich oil sheiks interpretation of the Quran. We don't believe in some Russian hadith that was written 200 years after the Quran. It's like, no, certain things help. We'll entertain things. We'll piece it apart. But we got to keep in mind, history is not a science. It's a whole bunch of spooky stuff in the Nation of Islam in 2025 because people think history is a science. They like, oh, the old head said it. So what? When the messenger was alive, he put on the front cover of Muhammad Speaks, it's a lie. And he explained to the believers, to the young believers, like, listen, it's a lot of old timers teaching nonsense, teaching y'all lies about the history of the Nation of Islam. He said, you know how I teach. You know how the messenger teach. You know his voice. Don't let them give y'all some pseudo spooky nonsense. Come on. They teaching you things without telling you where the messenger said it. When don't listen to the nonsense. Ask them, where did the messenger teach that? When did the messenger teach that? Show and prove it. Don't show and tell. You can tell me anything. Show and prove it, God. If you can't do that, shut up. Make sure y'all don't miss part 3.